What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to be back. It's good to be creating again. And now the goal is to make sure I keep creating. I don't want to go on a hiatus that long, but sometimes there's just things in the world that are outside of your control. So with that being said, let's get on with today's video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and please comment down below for the algorithm. Let's help build the channel and get this thing going back on track. I am working on part 2 of the Superman curse. I actually had it written and recorded, but I had a massive audio issue that couldn't be repaired when I recorded it, and then I lost the script, so I had to start back over on that one. That's almost finished being written. I'm going to get that recorded, edited, and back up, and I'm going to stay on top of the Superman Curse series until it's done. Before we go any further, though, I am still doing that giveaway. That's the plan. Let's grow the channel. DC Special Series number 21. It features the first Frank Miller Batman art. This copy is signed by Frank Miller and certified through Comic Sketch Art. So that is going to be a giveaway when the channel hits 100 subscribers. We'll be doing a random giveaway. I only ask that you make sure your privacy settings allow me to see that you're subscribed to me, because if I see 100 subscribers but only 75 names that I can access, then it's going to be done with 75 names. All right, now let's get to the reason why you're here. So I've done grade reveals before. I've done unboxings with for CGC and CBCS. This one is kind of special because, as always, I get my books pressed through Gary at Impressive Comic Books before sending in. Of course, he sends them off to be graded, but this time it was a collaboration with my buddy Josh and I. Gary did a special for Black Friday, but we were limited to 5 books each. I actually have all 10 here because Josh and I haven't had a chance to meet up and make the exchange, but he did give me his blessings to show them off to the world. So what I'm actually going to do is start off with Josh's 5. I'm going to my 5. So the first thing to keep in mind with Gary, Gary is, in my opinion, probably one of the best pressers in the business. I don't do CCS through CGC. I've actually seen a lot of issues online that other submitters have had with that. So if you want to get your books pressed first, send them to Gary. He will send them to CGC or CBCS on your behalf. He does have one rule, though. He likes to keep it family friendly. You know, he doesn't want any adult, like pornographic type books, which is actually something with the first one. So Josh is a big fan of indie comic books, and one that he jumped on the opportunity to get was Zombie Tramp, and he was able to get the Risque edition variant, and he just completely spaced it. You know, he's known Gary for years, but Gary was kind enough to still press it. He just gave us a heads up, say, hey, just a quick reminder, I don't like these books. But also because I don't want YouTube to flag me, I censored it. But this one came back beautifully, 9.8. Great pressing job. Sorry for the glare. I'll work on that. It's all about the angle, right? There we go. That's better. Yeah, beautiful book. 9.8, Josh is very happy about that. That's actually what he expected to get with it, too. This next one here, also a big one that Josh is excited about. This is Strange Academy #1, Marvel Comics. Beautiful copy, and especially since the cover is mostly white, 9.8. Congratulations, Josh. And yes, he had that one right, too. Josh is as big of a Spider-Man fan as I am a Superman fan. So naturally, he included a few Spider-Man books that he's very excited to get graded. This first one, Amazing Spider-Man #42. It's the first face reveal of Mary Jane Watson. So there's a cameo appearance there at the end, saying her famous catchphrase.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot.
Josh had zero expectations with this one. He said there was a detached staple, but after pressing, looked beautiful, and a very satisfactory 6.0 grade that he was not at all upset about. The next one up, I actually have these backwards, so bear with me just a minute. This was the only one, sadly, he was actually kind of disappointed with. He was hoping for a 9, didn't happen, and it turned out there was just some heavy staining that is tough to tell on a dark cover, but it's Amazing Spider-Man 194, and that came back with a 7.0. A beautiful copy. It presents very nicely, but see, the problem with black is that it catches glare so easily. See how that looks? That looks a little bit better. There we go. That looks better. But yeah, it came out nicely. It looks beautiful. Just when we saw the grader's notes, it was due to staining, which is a bummer. I don't know what he's going to do with that. He might be looking to move on from it because he's hoping he really wants to get an ASM 194 with a 9.0 or better. So this last one, this is the crown jewel of Josh's stack. This is a book I actually know for a fact he's been looking for a long time. He was able to get a nice copy, and then he was able to upgrade from it, and that's the one that we have here that he sent in. Amazing Spider-Man 238. First appearance of the Hobgoblin. He was hoping for a 9.0, and he got a 9.2. Ain't that just a beaut? So he was super excited about that. I was super excited for him when I saw the grade. So my next 4 of these 5 are going to remain in my private collection, but one of them I am looking to sell. It was one that I was never really going to keep. I was just kind of keeping it because of the contents of the story. It's a great story, but I have the trade. So keeping the issue doesn't do anything for me. And this is my way of paying for the grades and the press. Braving the Bold number 33, June 2010. I was actually working at Mile High Comics when this issue came out. And I bought it because the cover just made it look like a fun story. A lot deeper than that, but it's a fantastic story, good art, and just first ever 9.8 I've ever gotten. It is for sale, so you can hit me up on Instagram at panelbypanel show if you want to make an offer. This is my asking price, but I'm not, apart from coming down, I'm looking at what is currently listing on eBay and kind of going off of there for that. But hit me up on Instagram if you're interested. All right, so this next one, this is one I knew was going to come back low grade. It's the first Golden Age book I've ever bought. So far, it's the only Golden Age book I have. Josh was with me when I bought it because it was also the only affordable one we had found. The cover was coming off. It was torn on the front cover, on the spine, on the back cover. Matter of fact, it was actually, the book was completely coming apart. But Gary did a little bit of patchwork to it. You know, he needed to tape it up a little bit. You can see the tape there. And then, of course, along the spine as well. But it's Superman number 55, which came back with a 0.5 grade because it was also missing some pages. And that bummed me out, too. But it's the nature of the game. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I'm okay with the numeric grade. I didn't go into it with very high expectations. I knew it was going to come in low. But what's more important about this particular book is that this was referenced in Seduction of the Innocent by Frederick Wortham, and that's actually the label up here used in SOTI. So I'm excited to actually own a piece of history. So regardless of the grade, it's safe, it's protected, and that's all that matters to me. Next one here, this is actually one of my favorite covers, just because it shows a side of Superman that we're not accustomed to seeing. But Superman number 317 from November of 77, Neil Adams cover with the Metallo appearance in the book. And so obviously on the cover, there we go. I'm trying to avoid the glare. I'm doing this on my phone. But on the cover there, you see the green skin because he's been poisoned by kryptonite, presumably by Metallo. So I have an extra copy of it. This is actually one I got in a trade. I already had a copy in my collection, but made a trade with a guy in one of the Facebook groups I'm in for a whole slew of Superman comic books. We came to an agreement that kept us both happy, and I just ended up getting a duplicate copy and came back with a fantastic grade. So I'm excited for that. Okay, so these next two, it's tough to say which one I'm more excited for. One of them I got in that same trade. The other one was one that my wife let me get as an early Christmas present because I was prepared to do whatever it was she required to let me buy this book. But she just told me, go ahead and get it. It'll be part of your Christmas present, though. To which I was like, yay! So actually, I'm going to save that one for last because that's kind of a big one. But this one, also equally important in the history of Superman, is Superman 423, story by Alan Moore, with Kurt Swan and George Perez with the art. So just some massive big names. And if you know, you know. But it's basically considered the end of the Silver Age. There we go. Beautiful copy with a 9.6 grade. Super, super happy about that. Just a nice piece of history. Beautiful book. And on the rare occasion that I take these out and display it, that's going to be one that I proudly display. So, good for that. All right, last one. I've never had a major key before, which is why I was really excited to buy this one. And it's not a super expensive major key. It's not like the first appearance of Brainiac, which is someday. But this one is a much more affordable major key, and that is Action Comics 340, which is the origin and first appearance of the Parasite. The original Parasite, which was Raymond Maxwell Jensen. And then, of course, there's the centerfold pinup by Kurt Swan. It's all in there. And it came back with a 7.0. My LCS had it priced at $60, which had me thinking it was probably going to be maybe a 4 or 5. But Gary did his thing. He worked his magic and got a nice 7.0 off of that. So I'm really excited, really excited about this book. Being, like I said, my first major key. And it's a really affordable major key as well. That's the best part. But that's it for today. Keep an eye out for the Superman Curse Part 2. This is going to be about George Reeves. And just going to keep chugging along on that series. It's one I've really been excited for. It's just the last year, 2022 was a rough year. And I'm trying to use 2023 to rebound and get the channel back up and running. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. And get yourself an opportunity entered for this DC Special Series 21, signed by Frank Miller and certified comic sketch art. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy collecting.